Hello, today is Monday the 23rd of March. It's week 10 of semester 1 if you started your foundation program in January. It's week 10 of semester 2 if you started in September. Now, in such extraordinary circumstances that we find ourselves in, I think it's easy to lose track of time. So I thought it'd be good to remind you that we now have just 3 weeks left this semester, which ends on Thursday the 9th of April. Later in this video I'll say a little bit about next semester and the exam period, but first an overview of where we are and what we're all doing. As you no doubt already know, all staff are now working from home, and most of you have travelled either to your home countries or to be with family outside of London. I've really enjoyed seeing some of the views from your windows and breakfast tables that you've shared via WhatsApp, and I'd encourage you all to keep sharing. It's really nice for me to see you doing things like you're studying, what you're reading, what you're doing, what you're seeing, and sharing this with my colleagues. I think is helpful to them too, and helps them to feel a sense of connection to you. I'd like us all to bear in mind, however, that we still have a small number of students still living on campus, and 1 or 2 students in quarantine overseas, but far away from their family and home comforts. I'm sure that everyone shares my sympathy with these students, and I'm hoping that the things that we do via WhatsApp to keep us all connected will be particularly helpful to those of us who are most isolated. Please do get involved with tasks I set on WhatsApp so that we can keep our strong and important sense of community alive and well. I'm in regular contact with all your teachers and have video conferenced with several of them today. We're all facing our own challenges in working from home and teaching online. As you can imagine, we all prefer to teach face-to-face in a classroom, and some of us are finding hardware, software and internet connections less reliable than we'd hoped for. We also have the possibility that family members, children, pets even, can disturb us or distract us at any time. I mean, like yourselves, we probably all have an idea of what perfect online learning might be like, but the idea of perfection is rarely helpful in life. And you can look at the brilliant production values of a TED Talk, for example, and wonder why online teaching isn't always like that. But it's always important to remember that TED Talks don't have audience interaction. Indeed, for a TED Talk, it doesn't matter who the audience is. In a Queen Mary IFP class, it absolutely does matter who the audience is. The audience, that's you, are the most important element of a successful lesson. But to facilitate interaction and to emphasise the importance of each learner in an online class, there's a trade-off, and we're inevitably going to experience some silences, technical glitches, and no small amount of frustration. Please do be patient, however. I heard about a student giving up last week on an online chat because he was expecting it to be a video conference, and he was disappointed. The aim of the class, however, was to have students writing about a text they'd read, so there was no need for anyone to be showing their face, and actually having everyone write rather than speak was a good and valid exercise for everyone to be doing. Now, not participating in a class because you don't like the medium doesn't help you at all, and it doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, after all, you can't refuse to write an essay because you'd rather give an oral presentation. So try to stay open-minded about what different teachers might be asking you to do in online lessons. Having said that, I know that the majority of you are being patient and understanding, and I'd like to thank you all for the positivity and general goodwill that I've felt from all of you. Whatever frustrations you're experiencing with online learning, do tell us. You can tell your teachers, and you can also report them to me in our WhatsApp groups. Please use the specific September or January start groups rather than the whole cohort group, as I think, as you'll understand, there are big differences between the two cohorts in terms of how much more online learning you might need to do. In discussions with staff, we're sharing tips on our experiences of teaching online so far, and we're also discussing amendments we think should be made to assessments, including exams. I'm hoping to be able to report back to you by the end of the week on what we decide, but our internal decisions need to be approved by the university before we can go into any detail. I'm also being updated by teachers on who is participating in online learning activities and who is not. So I'll be following up with non-participants over the next week or so. If you're unable to participate in online activities because of circumstances beyond your control, please just message me via email and let me know. We'll be as flexible and supportive as we can be. We know it's a difficult time for everyone. When I'm able to tell you more about amendments we're making to, or hoping to make to, assessments, I will do that, and I'll also talk a little bit about what's expected of you during the May exam period for September start students and semester 2 for January start students. It's currently looking very unrealistic that we would be able to start face-to-face teaching for January start semester 2 from the 27th of April. So we are expecting to be continuing with online teaching for the foreseeable future, but obviously that is going to require a few changes in the way that we normally do things, and I want to be as transparent and open about any changes as I can be. So there'll be more information on that soon. The same goes for what's going to happen in the exam period. The principal wrote to you last week to say that there would not be any in-person exams taking place in April, May or June this year. That doesn't mean that there will be no further assessment in that period. So we do appreciate that a lot of foundation students actually see exams as an opportunity to increase their overall average scores and to demonstrate what they're capable of, and it's important that they get the chance to do that at the end of the programme when they've had the benefit of all the development that we see and that I hope that you can see as well in the majority of students. So it won't be just a holiday starting from the end of this semester. There will be tasks for you to do. They won't be exams that you come and sit in Mile End, but I will be able to say more about this hopefully at the end of this week, when the proposals that we are making have hopefully been approved. Okay. I'm aiming to send out messages like this regularly, and if there are any topics you'd like me to cover or questions you'd like me to answer, please post them in the general channel of our IFP Microsoft Teams group. I've sent an invitation to join this group by email to everyone. I think I've only had about 50% of students have responded to this. So I'm using Teams for teaching and any teaching related matters. I'm using WhatsApp for extracurricular community building activities. So I'm just trying to establish a difference between we're kind of doing fun things and community based things in WhatsApp, but for my teaching I'm using Microsoft Teams, and for any personal issues that you want to raise with me or individual requests and questions, please continue to use email in the same way. That's probably the most formal channel that we will obviously continue to use. So that's all from me for now. I hope you stay safe and find a way to enjoy studying. I hope you have enjoyed kind of learning and studying so far on the foundation programme, and I hope that the the extraordinary circumstances we find ourselves in don't take that away from you. You're still able to read, and hopefully to enjoy reading, and maybe even to enjoy writing assignments and doing maths and stats and accounting and economics too. I'm looking forward to seeing you all again soon, one way or another, whether that's online or eventually in person. Thank you very much.